I'd been studying in Europe composition and saxophone, actually. I auditioned for Ezra Rocklin, who was the conductor of the Fort Worth Symphony at the time. He engaged me to play a concerto with Fort Worth Symphony. After I auditioned, he said, "I want to speak with you privately. We're starting a youth orchestra." And he said, "I'm not going to have time to conduct it, so would you be interested in being my assistant conductor and conduct the youth orchestra?" I don't know if you have to be really, I think, special to work with children. I mean, it's actually, to me, it's more difficult to conduct children than it is adults.
The youth orchestra is not about the performance. The performance is just the cherry on the cake, but it's baking the cake and making a mess out of it at first, which is really exciting, and that's when we spend most of the time.
That's a large responsibility, to stand in front of 100 kids and impart what a great piece of music is. I said, I really don't feel qualified. And he said, "Well, you're a fine artist. I'll give you lessons if you'll agree to do this." And so I said, "Well, okay." I think there were 30 people in that first orchestra. You can't play Tchaikovsky's symphony with half a dozen violins and 2 or 3 violas and a couple of cellos. So we expanded it to go into as far as Denton.
I joined the Fort Worth Youth Orchestra in 1969, and a cellist from the Fort Worth Symphony, Harriet Wolt, went back to Fort Worth and called John Giordano and said, "Oh, there's a violinist in Denton that you really ought to get in your orchestra." He treated us in a professional manner. He expected us to be prepared. He expected us to rise to the highest possible level that we could.
We're fortunate enough to be selected through tape audition to go to the first youth orchestra festival in San Moritz, Switzerland. And that really is what set the tone and really what made the youth orchestra, I think, popular in this area.
There I was, a few stands back in the first violins in the International Youth Orchestra conducted by Leopold Stokowski. And I remember my parents who were there, my mother just took me by the shoulders and looked at me and said, "Remember this, you need to remember this."
Youth Orchestra is a fundamental group. It's an opportunity for young people who are outstanding in our society and need to be encouraged and will be the future leaders of our society. And from that standpoint, the public needs to be aware of that and has to support it.
I think it's very rare for a youth orchestra to have such a connection with its past still 60 years after its founding. And a lot of that is because John is not only somebody who's an incredible conductor, but he's also somebody that's incredibly generous. He understands the importance of youth orchestras and what they mean not only to the communities surrounding them, but to the musician community everywhere around the world.
So it is an honor for us to have you conducting this piece. So please, let's go because we need every single minute today. Welcome, Maestro.
Thank you.
John is an institution in our community. There is a history behind that baton. And the students know that. Like I was conducting the Firebird at TCU last month, and he came, and then he said, "Well, I was at rehearsal when Stravinsky was conducting himself. So, okay, tell me all about it, So it's that type of figure that you need to take advantage of every single minute that you can spend with him.
It's very exciting for me to start with 35 people in 60 something or another, and all these years later you have such a wonderful organization and sounds so wonderful. Anyway, let's do Tchaikovsky 4.